Okay, so welcome back to our lecture series under the subject Theories of Crime Causation. Our today's lesson is on evolutionary theory. Once again, your lecturer is Darlito Bernard G. Delizo, known as Tatay D, Sir D, or Dr. D. At the end of this module, all the viewers and learners are expected to be able to rephrase the concept of evolutionary theory, meaning they shall be able to explain it in their own words and to formulate an example of a scenario regarding the evolutionary theory. Well, first thing first, to understand evolutionary theory, evolution is a theory or defined as a theory in biology postulating that the various types of plants, animals, and other living things on Earth have their origin in other pre-existing types and that the distinguishable differences are due to modifications in successive generations. Take note, evolution is a theory in biology. Remember that your biology is the study of living things. Sinasabi ng evolution na ang mga itsura ng mga halaman, ng mga hayop, including tao ngayon, ay hindi yan yung kanilang itsura kay many generations ago. So they have their origin in other pre-existing types, meaning hindi raw ganito ang itsura ng mga hayop, ng mga halaman, okay? And eventually, as generations pass by, there are modifications that is a way of adapting to the environment. Say for example, take a look on the picture ng giraffe, no? Or giraffe sa Tagalog, no? Yung giraffe na yan, tingnan natin, accordingly, ay para silang kabayo. Okay? However, nawala yung mga damuhan, so we do not know what happened, nawala yung mga damuhan, perhaps naging disyerto, so naiwan na lang yung mga matataas na mga kahoy. So dahil matataas yung mga kahoy, yan, years, no, generations to generations, dahan-dahan, no, gradually nag-change yung length ng neck ng mga giraffe. Okay? So ngayon ganyan ang itsura nila, mahaba yung kanilang leeg. So down below, evolution is simply defined as the gradual development of something. Okay? So it's a gradual development of something. Say for example, in our layman's term, say for example, na ang mga itsura nyo ngayon, ano? Maraming snappy sa inyo. So, pwede natin sabihin, nag-evolve kayo. No? Nag-evolve kayo from yung lupaypay na binata, okay, or lupaypay na dalaga. Ngayon, medyo naging snappy kayo. So, nag-evolve kayo. And eventually, pag nag-graduate kayo, hanggang nakapasok kayo ng serbisyo, magbabago yung mga yung posture ninyo, magbabago yung composure ninyo, magbabago pati yung mga pagkilos nyo. So, perhaps, or nagkaroon ng tinatawag nating evolution. Tulad ng mga X-Men, no? Yung mga dating lalaki, nag-evolve sila mula sa pagiging lalaki, naging babae, kaya mga X-Men ang mga yan. Okay? So, let's go back to our topic. So, in criminology and criminal or crime causation, no? Or the causation of crimes, evolutionary theory attempts to explain the existence of aggression and violent behavior as positive adaptive behaviors in human evolution. What does it mean by that? So sa evolutionary theory, um, ini-explain niya na yung pagkakaroon natin ng aggressive and violent behavior, in other words, yung tendency natin to defend ourselves, okay, to compete for foods like that, okay, and to fight over something. Well, accordingly, it becomes a positive adaptive behaviors in human evolution. What does it mean by that adaptive? Pag sinabing adaptive, ito yung ability to change to suit different conditions. Meaning, say for example, if I'll go down to Cabanatuan and I'll be coming from Baguio, mainit, no? Mainit, malamig yung panahon dito. I will go down to your area, mainit dyan. So, it will take me, we call it some days or weeks before I could adapt to the hot temperature in the lowland. That's the idea. Okay, so adaptive means the ability of a plant an animal or a human being to change or to suit up with different conditions. Okay, so say for example, if you're coming down from the lowland and you will come to Baguio, you will feel na mahirapan kayong huminga. Why? Mas manipis kasi yung tawag natin oxygen dito sa Baguio. But patagal ng panahon, okay, masasanay yung lungs ninyo doon sa conditions, mag-a-adapt siya. Okay, say for example, ganito yan ha. Let me give you an example further. Ang mga taga-Cordillerans, mga taga Baguio and mostly taga-Cordillerans, ang tawag sa kanila sa training center sa NCR, they call them malalakas na tao. Malakas ang resistensya. Bakit? Kasi likas sa mga Cordillerans dahil manipis ang oxygen sa taas, dito sa Cordillera, manipis ang oxygen. So yung lungs ng tawag natin ng mga tao rito ay nagpa-pump ng mabilis para mag-grasp ng 21% na oxygen. So dahil nagpa-pump yan automatically, kaya nahanap ng katawan natin yung 21% oxygen, so lumalaki yung lungs ng mga taga-Cordillera. So eventually, yung kanilang mga maging anak, magkakaroon din ng mga malaking lungs, so nakakapag-adapt immediately yung lungs ng mga bagong panganak na mga infants, okay? Dito sa high altitude or sa nipis ng oxygen. So that's the idea, okay? So however, these traits, meaning when we go back sa ating biosocial theories na ang traits ito yung mga physical attributes natin, okay? These traits allow their bearers to reproduce disproportionately, which have an effect on the human gene pool. In other words, na yung tawag natin yung traits natin sa aggressive and violent behaviors natin somehow, okay, allowed the bearers to reproduce disproportionately, meaning maaring tinatawag natin na ito ay maaring mawawala yung aggressive or violent behavior, or maaring okay, yung mga mabubuting traits ng tao ay maaring dahan-dahan ay magre-reproduce into the aggressive and violent behavior. So eventually, even sa genetic structure ng tao ay magkakaroon ng effect nito, tulad ng sinabi ko kanina. Okay, just like sa for example, kapag stress palagi yung mga magulang, stress palagi, ganung pinagbuntis ka, stress niyan. So eventually, pag napanganak yung bata, may mga manifestations na siya ay product ng stress, overstress na mga magulang. So that's the idea. Okay, there will be an effect on the human gene pool. Okay, so that evolutionary theory also explains that antisocial or criminal behaviors evolved as a way for our ancestors to overcome obstacles related to survival and or reproduction, which I have mentioned a while back. Okay, so we have the tendency to compete for foods like that, and eventually you should be aggressive or sometimes violent in such a way that you are able to, we call it, to survive. Okay, and eventually that aggressiveness and that violent behavior eventually will become part of the human gene pool. Okay, so this idea of evolutionary theory. So it is used to explain the idea that violent, aggressive behavior has been maintained with human cultures because it has proven to be a successful reproductive strategy, especially for males. So, not only for foods, no, the male population also compete for the opposite female population. Okay, so they have to, otherwise mawawalan sila ng asawa. Okay, that's the idea during the olden times. Remember the lex talionis, the law of the jungle, na kung saan just like the animals in the jungle, they compete for the female population. So that's the idea. Okay, so the early human beings, they competed for the male population or the female population, okay, so that they can we call it they can reproduce. Yan. So that's what we call the idea of the evolutionary theory. So what about the cheater, the RK selection theory? Of course, we know already what is biosocial theory. So we are going to discuss further the cheater and RK selection theory. So again, another example for the evolutionary theory. if the child witnessed that his father beats her mother by the time his father is under the influence of alcohol, then the child will assume that it is good to beat somebody, and when the time comes, the child becomes the husband, the same situation will be applied to his life. Okay, so in this kind of thing, evolutionary theory of criminal behavior, nag-evolve siya. Okay, nakikita niya kasi yung magulang na ganun ginagawa, so nung siya nagkaroon ng tawag natin ng asawa, so ganun din ang gagawin niya. Then later on yung anak niya ganun din, so eventually magiging tinatawag nating part na ng kanilang family line or part na ng kanilang buhay ng kanyang mga magiging descendants yung pananakit ng asawa. So nag-evolve yung ugali, no? Okay? And eventually, according to evolutionary theory, there is an effect to the, we call it to the genetic structure of the descendants of that man. As we have said in the biosocial theory, they believe that the genetic structure as well as environmental factors, when they come together, they may produce a criminal or a good behavior. So what about the cheater theory? It suggests that a subpopulation of men has evolved with genes that incline them toward extremely low parental involvement, and that men are sexually aggressive who use their cunning to gain sexual conquest with as many females as possible. So, in other words, there are some men, okay, a subpopulation of men, meaning there are, meaning it's not all men. There are a few men or there are a percentage of men in which yung kanilang genes ay nag-evolve. Okay? Yan. Nag-evolve yung kanilang genes, okay? Toward extremely low parental involvement, meaning yung genes nila parang nawala yung innate or natural na affection nila sa mga magiging anak nila. Okay, hindi sila naging close sa mga anak. And eventually these people, this subpopulation of men, they have that sexual aggressiveness na eventually ginagamit nila so that they can victimize women. Okay? So females would not choose them as mates. Why? Because they consider them as cheaters who use their stealth to gain sexual access, like cheating. Including such tactics are mimicking the behavior of more stable males. In other words, may mga lalaki na nagbabait-baitan. Parang ang bait-bait nila. Very thoughtful sila. Ang bait-bait nila. So they can mimic. Ginagaya nila mga mababait. But actually, they are just trying to deceive women because yung kanilang genetic structure, meron silang cheater na predisposition. Okay? So kapag ang babae, nakikita nilang ganito yung mga lalaking ganyan, eventually the female will not. Okay? The females will not choose them as a partner. Kasi eventually, they will cheat. Sabi nga, no? We always say that in the classroom na kapag nag-cheat yung bata sa classroom, eventually pag nag-game police yan, naging professional yan, mag-cheat siya, no? Parang ganon. Okay? So that's the idea. So further, psychologist Byron Ratz notes that these cheater-type males may be especially attractive to younger, less intelligent women who begin having children at a very early age. It explains male aggressiveness. In other words, itong mga subpopulation of men na ganyan, maaga ito. Okay, at the early teens pa lang nila, naghahanap na sila ng kanilang sexual partner. And they are very attractive to the women because they are cunning. Hindi mo nga mahalata na sila yung mga manluloko. That's the idea, no? Okay? So and of course this subpopulation of men, they have that aggressiveness. Okay, mga aggressive na tawag natin yung say for example, teenager pa lang kayo, 13 years old kayo, 14 years old, okay? Niyayaya ka kaagad na mag-holding hands, mag-kiss kayo or like that, no? When you go to bed like that, no? So yun ang ibig sabihin niyan, yung kanilang sexual aggressiveness, nandun na. And not only in sexual aggressiveness, even in violent reaction, madaling magalit ang mga yan, okay? So some men have evolved alternative reproductive strategies either through by environmental adaptation or inherited genetics. So in other words, maaring sa nagtawag natin na adapt nag-adapt yung katawan nila, nag-change yung kanilang genes. Say for example, na uh, sa lowlands, mainit diyan, more or less medyo may tendency na yung mga tao ay medyo hot-tempered, no? Because of the environment. Now, kapag tumira ka na dito sa Cordillera, dito sa Baguio, parang eventually nagmimelo yung ugali mo. Well, perhaps it has something to do with the cold climate, no? So, tignan nyo na lang halos wala kayong mabalitaan dito sa Cordillera, napakaraming provinces dito, including Baguio City. Wala kayong mabalitaan dito na kaguluhan tungkol sa tawag natin sa mga election. Okay? Wala, parang okay lang sa mga tao rito, no? Hindi sila yung palaaway like that, no? Mayroon nag-aaway, no? But majority, they just obey, they are very diplomatic, no? Mga tao rito. Well, probably merong adaptation sa cold climate. Maaring ganon, no? Ganon din, maaring adaptation because of the uh, we call it low percent of oxygen, pwede rin ganon. Okay? So, parang ganon yan, no? Kaya pag lowlander ka, eventually pag tumira ka na ng Baguio, so magkaroon ng environmental adaptation yung katawan mo, and even yung behavior mo ay may tendency na magbabago because of that environmental adaptation. Or, perhaps, okay, we call it, sabi nga, kapag mainit yung lugar kasi, mas mataas yung reproduction ng hormones ng lalaki. Ano, mas mataas. Kaya mas marami sa lowland ang mas maraming may mga anak kaysa rito sa Cordillera, sa Baguio, no? Parang ganon. Okay, so maaring ganon na pag from the highland ka, punta ka ng probinsya, magkaroon ka ng tinatawag nating mag-adapt yung katawan mo dun sa klima. Tataas din yung hormonal levels, parang ganon. Okay? Or meron kang inherited genetics. And these people, no, yung mga cheater population of men, either their bodies, we call it, evolved by environmental adaptation, or meron talaga sa kanilang inherited genes na tawag natin. By using force or deception to impregnate females, same predisposition leads these men to take advantage to other situations. So in other words, yung may mga studies kasi na yung mga lalaki na promiscuous or babae na promiscuous, mga multiple ang partners, na maraming partners. There was a study conducted, or many studies were conducted. I could not remember those studies even in the country, na notice nila na sila rin yung mga tawag natin na mataas yung predisposition to commit other crimes. Okay? Sila yung mga mataas ang predisposition na gumawa ng iba pang uri ng crime aside from cheating women. Parang ganun ang idea. Okay? Kaya yun ang isang explanation diyan. Okay? Just like mga tomboy sa inyo, no? Mga tomboy. So yung mga tomboy na maraming mga partners, okay? Sila rin karamihan ang nai-involve sa mga iba't ibang tawag nating uri ng mga antisocial behaviors, or mas malakas yung kalooban nila, hindi lang sa antisocial behavior, even yung risk taking, mataas din yung kanilang level. So yun ang ibig sabihin, ang babae na nagkaroon ng multiple partner yan, mataas din yung kanyang risk taking. Ganon din yung lalaki, parang ganon din ang explanation sa cheater theory. Okay, so just like this, okay? Ganito doon ang lalaki, yan, monogamous, then eventually, palingon-lingon, then like that, nag-evolve, till finally, gumagawa na siya ng ganyang bagay. And then, of course, nagkakaroon ng natawag nating polygamy, dahil nag-evolve daw yung natawag natin, may mga lalaki daw na ganyan na tinatawag natin yung subpopulation ng men, may mga ganyan. Okay? So, of course, that is not only applicable to the male population, it could also be applicable to the female population. But in this particular subject matter, there are more, okay, of those individuals coming from the male population. What about the RK selection theory? The theory was created by Harvard biologist E.O. Wilson in explaining population growth and decline in plants and animals. So, nasabi nito na sa isang gubat o isang kabukiran, may mga halaman na dumarami at may mga halaman na nawawala. Okay, yun ang yun ang una. Okay, na in-apply niya kasi biologist siya. Sabi niya, siguro itong mga halaman na ito ay tawag natin, may tendency sila na mag-reproduce very rapidly, kaya hindi sila nawawala. Tulad ng mga damo, mga grass, no? Yung mga grass, mga kwan yan, mga natawag natin mga K selection mga yan or R selection mga yan, no? So mabilis silang tawag natin, mabilis silang dumami. May mga iba naman na nawawala, nag-extinct sila. Okay, so this kind of archaea selection theory, it holds that all organisms can be located along a continuum based upon their reproductive drives. Okay, so in other words, so lahat ng mga living organisms, okay, ay makikita yan sa kanilang continuous, okay, or continuity ng kanilang existence based on the reproductive drives. Okay, whether yan ay dadami or mauubos later on yung lahi na yan. And for human use, it was adapted by Professor J. Philip Ruston of the Western Ontario University. So this archaea selection theory is also part of a gene-based evolutionary theory, meaning nakafocus ito sa genes. Sa biosocial kasi nakafocus sa genes at saka sa society. Pag sinabing gene-based ito, nakafocus lang yan dun sa genetic structure, hereditary genetic structure lang ng tao. So it's a gene-based evolutionary theory that links many of the differences between the races, including crime patterns to migration to America. Okay, so in-explain niya na bakit yung mga ganitong lahi ay mataas ang criminal behavior na ganito sa kanila, or bakit ang mga ganitong population or race ay dumarami sila. Okay, at bakit yung ganitong race ay sila yung mga nagko-commit ng ganitong crime. Okay, so those are the explanation of this archaea selection theory. So to understand further, they reproduce rapidly whenever they can and invest little in their offsprings, more cunning and deceptive. Okay, may mga hayop na mabilis mag-reproduce, at yung mga mabilis mag-reproduce, wala silang pakialam dun sa kanilang mga anak. At sila rin yung mga tinatawag natin mga multi-partners na mga hayop. Okay? So kapag i-apply mo yan sa tao, may mga tao na tinatawag natin, kumbaga, maraming mga anak at marami siyang naanakan, multiple yung kanyang mga naging partner. So yun yan yung tao na walang pakialam. Hindi siya masyadong, wala siyang masyadong emotional attachment sa kanyang mga naging anak. So yan yung mga tinatawag natin, kumbaga sa cheater theory, sila yung mga nasa cheater theory. They are more cunning and deceptive. On the other hand, the key selection population, they reproduce slowly and cautiously and take care in raising their offsprings. Okay? Kumbaga may mga hayop tulad ng mga baka, okay, mga kambing. Yan. So pag mga anak mga yan, kukunti lang yan, isa, dalawa, ganun mga panganak yan. So pansinin niyo, yung kanilang attachment sa kanilang mga anak, sinasamahan yan hanggang medyo maging mature. Okay? So hinahanap nila yung mga anak nila pag napapalayo, pag nagpapastol kayo, yung nanay na kambing, hanapin niya yung kanyang anak niyang mali, parang ganon din yung mga baka at kalabaw. So yun ang mga case selection na tinatawag natin. Pag nag-reproduce sila, hindi maramihan. Okay? So papansinin mo na sila parang mga tao na may mga emotional attachment sila sa kanilang mga anak. Ganon din sa may mga taong ganon, ano, na pag mag-reproduce sila, mga anak sila, wala lang, hanggang isa, dalawa, tatlo lang ka na nagiging anak. Hindi man nagpa-family planning pero hanggang dun lang. Okay, hindi man nagpa-family planning pero ganun lang mag-reproduce ng anak yung lalaki na yan. So, yun yung mga tinatawag na mapansin nyo na they are more caring and they are more sensitive, particularly to their offspring or sa kanilang mga anak. And sila yung mga less din na involved sa mga deception at mga cunning activities or mga kalokohan na mga gawain. So, people who commit crime seem to exhibit our selection. Yung mga parang sa cheater theory, no? Sila yung mga more or less na mas na-involved sa crime. Of course, meron din mga selection population na na-involve. But their number is not as high as those coming from the R population. So to exhibit R selection traits such frequent sexual activity. Okay, so particularly sa mga sexual offenses, that's according to Larry Siegel. Okay, let us apply the RK selection theory doon sa mga hayop. Okay, so remember yung mga R, ito yung mga natawag natin mabilis ang reproduction nila. So, tulad ng rabbit, no, pag kayo nag-aalaga ng rabbit, pansin yung mga rabbit, they have multiple partners pero wala silang intimate na partner. Unlike sa mga aso, mga K-selection, meron silang mga intimate partners. Although na-involve sila sa ibang babaeng aso, mas intimate sila sa kanilang partner. So, ganun din sa tao, may mga yung mga nagmo-multiple partner, lalo mga babae o lalaki, pansin niyo wala silang masyadong intimacy, intimate, we call it attachment sa kanilang or emotional attachment sa kanilang magiging partner. Unlike sa mga K, ay yun yung mga tinatawag nating yung kumbaga ay todo magmahal yan sa kanilang mga partner. Parang yun ang ibig sabihin niya. Now, on the cognitive complexity, is pag-iisip nila, the R people or the R animals are simple. Simple ang utak niyan. Okay? So, mababang IQ. Simple lang. Okay? So, ang mga rabbit, mahirap turuan yung mga yan. Mahirap turuan. Kasi nabubuhay yan sa kanilang, nabubuhay yung mga yan sa instinct nila, sa animal instinct. Pero ang mga aso, medyo complex yung kanilang pag-iisip. Kaya may mga aso na tuturuan. Okay? Natuturuan mga just like mga tao, no? Hierarchical, no? Dito, yung wala yung tinatawag nating mother-child or father-child relationship. Yung mga R na mga yan, okay? Even yung kanilang mga tinatawag natin mga mga magulang o anak nila mga rabbit ay ginagawang sexual partner. Ganun ang mga style niyan. Walang matanda, walang bata sa kanila. So on the K population, they have that hierarchical traits. View on food or resources, ang mga R ay wala yan. Kay unlimited. Kahit ano. Ang rabbit, tingnan nyo, kahit anong kinakain yan. Pero ang K, ang aso, tingnan nyo, limited ang kanilang kinakain. Hindi nila kinakain lahat. Something like that. Okay? So, ganun din sa tao. Ang mga tawag natin, mga R people, R population, okay? Wala yan. Mga happy-go-lucky. Unlimited yung kanilang style sa buhay. Pero mga K population, nag-iisip pa mga yan. They manage everything. Okay? So, on sexuality, the R population or the R population of the rabbit, basically they are promiscuous, meaning they have multiple partners. On the K population, whether that is an animal or human beings, more or less they are monogamous in nature. On the sexual maturity, mas maaga ang sexual maturity ng mga R population. Okay? So, i-apply mo yan sa tao, okay? Early teens pa lang yan ay na-involve na sa sexual life. Okay? Pero ang K population, later in life sila na-involve sa kanilang sexual activities. The number of offspring, sa dami ng anak, napakaraming anak ng mga rabbit, dami mga anak yan. Pero sabi ko kanina, mga aso, tawag natin, sabihin natin mga 6, 8 at the most. Okay? Pero matagal yan. Pero ang rabbit, ang daming magpadami, ang bilis magpadami yan. On the investment in offspring, meaning yung attachment sa kanilang mga naging anak, ang mga rabbit, pansinin nyo sila masyadong attached sa kanilang mga anak, unlike sa mga aso. Okay? Talagang nalulungkot yan. Pansinin nyo, pag kinukuha mo anak ng aso, pag kukunin na yan, medyo nalulungkot yan kasi meron siyang personal attachment. Kumbaga sa tao, nabanggit ko kanina, yung mga, ang daming mga naanakan, no? Dami-dami lang nagiging mga sexual partner na anakan. So, they don't invest too much on their offsprings. Unlike sa mga natawag natin intact ang families, they invest much on their children. On the other hand, territorial, ang mga rabbit, sagasa yan. Sagasa, walang territory yan eh. Sagasa, lahat territory nyo yan. Okay, sagasa yan. Ganun din, may mga taong ganun, sagasa sila. Wala. Babanggay nila yan. Okay? Pag lalaki yan, mahilig yan sa babae, babanggay niya lahat, walang pakialam yan. So, ganun ang mga aso, territorial yan. Ang aso, minamarkahan nila kung saan sila ihi, saan sila tatay, babalik-balikan yan, they are territorial. Babalik at babalik yan dun sa kanyang tahanan. Mas madaling mas madaling ma-domesticate ang mga hayop na ito, mga aso. Pero ang rabbit, kahit matagal na yan, umaalis pa rin yan. Okay? So, may tendency na alis niyan. Okay? Dahil nga, hindi sila territorial kahit saan yan pumupunta. So, ganun din ang mga R-type of people na yan yung mga no permanent addresses. No? Yan yung mga kahit saan napapagala, okay lang mga yan. Okay? Yung mga population ng mga lalaki o babae, they always go back to their home. Mabalik at babalik yan. Okay? So, again, further, sa mga hayop, ito yan, no? Tignan natin. Yung mga talaba, they can produce 500 million a year. Okay? Yung mga isda, they can produce 8,000 a year. Okay? Yung mga frog, they can produce 200 a year. Okay? Ang mga rabbit, they can produce 12 a year. Okay? Ang mga aso, may mga asong 2 a year lang yan. Kasi nga, ang kan mo dyan, ang idea mo dyan is magbubuntis. Hindi naman kagad magbubuntis yan eh. Magpapalipas yan. Ang tao, or ang mga gorilla, 1 in every 5 years. So, ang tao, ganun din ang mga of course, may mga iba, every year, no? Pero more or less, ay mas mabagal yung kanilang reproduction. Kaya yung may mga hayop na malalaki, na mga, natawag natin mga gentle giant sa mga hayop. Isa-isa lang mga anak yan. Sila mga nag-extinct, mga balyena, mga malalaking elepante, nag-extinct mga yan. Kasi matagal silang mag-reproduce. They are the K population. If we are talking about animals. So, there are other theories under the evolutionary theory. Of course, in your module, you only have the cheater and the archae selection. But there are. You have the conditional adaptation theory. Again, the word adaptation, no? Yung pag-adapt, yung pag-adjust ng buhay mo, ng katawan mo sa isang environment. It could either be attributed to environmental factors or attributed sa yung tawag natin sa yung genes, no? May mga, say for example, may mga tao na pag pumunta sa malalamig na lugar, okay, matagal sila mag-adapt. Ilang linggo na silang nakatira sa Baguio, ilang buwan nang tagal pa rin. Okay, may mga tao naman na tawag natin na kaakyat lang ng Baguio, few days lang, sanay na siya sa lamig. Okay, pag bumaba sa probinsya, few days lang, sanay na siya sa init, parang ganon. Okay, so that's the idea of adaptation. However, in the conditional adaptation theory, it states that reproductive strategies vary based on environmental factors, such as the degree of paternal bonding that occurs early in the life course. Okay, so, ang ibig sabihin niyan, may pagkakaiba yung reproductive strategies ng individuals or beings based on environmental factors, as I've mentioned a while back, yung pagpalagay mo lang sa malamig at sa mainit na lugar. And the degree of paternal bonding. When you say paternal, yung father and son bond or attachment. And in relation to criminal behavior, it proposes that when resources or attachments are unstable and low, there will be an increased likelihood that individuals will adopt a risky lifestyle. Say for example, okay, may mga pumupunta sa abroad. Pagpunta nila sa abroad, okay, dahil yung kanilang attachment sa kanilang pamilya mataas, so na homesick sila. Nagkakaroon ng homesickness. So, may tendency na, okay, natawag natin, tendency na gagawa ng kalukuhan doon. Okay? Because mababa, unstable yung attachment. Or, sinasabi rin yan na when it comes to resources, meaning when it comes na walang pera, walang makain, so they will tend to adopt a risky lifestyle. Ayan, they will become to be aggressive. They will be taking risks just to get resources. Or kapag walang tinatawag natin magiging partner, wala nang partner, wala nang maligawan na babae, something like that, ano? So they tend to adapt to a risky lifestyle. Okay? So yun ang idea ng conditional adaptation. So nag-adapt yung katawan mo or yung behavior mo in a certain condition. And what are these conditions? Practically sa mga environmental factors. Either yung resources dati naman na dati wala ka naman, mabait ka, di ka nagnanakaw. Pero napunta ka sa isang lugar dahil wala nang makain, walang resources, so tendency, nag-take ka na ng risk na magnakaw. So that's the idea. So conditional yung pag-adapt. But eventually, kapag marami ulit pagkain, hindi ka na magnanakaw. So parang conditional yung pag-adapt ng katawan mo. Babalik ka sa dati. That's the idea of this conditional adaptation theory. And then you have also alternative adaptation theory. It also incorporates the element of intelligence as an important factor in determining a person's reproductive strategy, meaning yung isip ng tao. Ah, kaya may mga iba, ayaw nilang magkaanak ng marami because they are thinking na yung consequence nito. Okay? They're thinking na hindi nila kayang buhayin ang mga ito, so they limit the reproduction. And individuals who are more intelligent will be more likely to invest their time and effort into raising their children because nakikita nila na tawag natin, okay, better yung kanilang pag-invest sa kanilang mga anak. Okay? And lagi nilang kinoconsume yung time niya with their children, with his children like that. Okay? Those are the more intelligent people. Pero may mga iba na mababang intellectual, mas gusto nilang nagwawalay, gusto nilang nagwawalwal. Okay? So they do not care much sa kanilang mga children. That's the idea of the alternative adaptation theory. Okay? Then you have also the staying alive hypothesis. Women are less criminal than men because they have evolved a propensity to experience more situations as fearful than men do. So, ang ibig sabihin niyan, ang mga babae, unlike nung unang panahon, the Law of the Jungle, may mga Amazona. Even yung mga Amazona nakikipag-away, nakikipaglaban, na ganyan. So, eventually, mga henerasyon nagbago, ang mga babae iniwan sa bahay. So, ang mga babae ngayon nag-evolve sila, ayaw na nilang mag-take ng risk going to war. So, eventually, they keep themselves dun sa protection ng tawag natin ng kanilang family or ng kanilang house. Okay, that's why less women are becoming criminal because they are not like the men na race taker ang mga lalaki. Okay? So same thing, there is what you call there are sex differences in criminal involvement and are due to sex differences in fear threshold, which may have evolved due to the selected pressures on women to avoid risky situations in order to increase their chances of survival and the likelihood that their offspring's survival. What does it mean by that? Okay? So, mas nandun yung takot ng babae. Okay? When it comes to sexual, we call it sexual affairs like that, no? Ay mabuntis, maganon. Mas inaalagaan niya yung anak niya. Ang lalaki, hindi. Kaya tignan nyo, may mga lalaki na hindi man masyadong pinapansin yung mga asawa nilang mga buntis. Pero ang babae, hindi. Naalagaan nila yan. Okay, mas natawag natin naging mas caring yung idea or ng behavior ng babae kaysa lalaki. Nag-evolve yan from the time of the barbaric, time of the law of the jungle na ugali ng mga tao. Okay, so of course, because sa takot na yan, mas nag-increase yung chances ng babae, mas maraming nagsosurvive na female population kaysa sa mga male population. Because of that, we call it staying alive theory or assumption. Mas nagkaroon na kailangan makaligtas ako, kailangan iiwas ako sa gulo, kailangan iiwas ako sa danger. Yun ang naging style ng babae. Kaya karamihan pag may gulo, ang mga babae umaalis, tumatakbo. Pero mga lalaki nanonood. Okay? Ayaw nilang umalis. So that's the idea. Ang babae most women have that kind of we call it attitude, yung staying alive attitude nila. So this is an example of an image. Men are risk takers than women. And because men are risk takers than women, more men are, we call it involved, okay, with antisocial and dangerous criminal violent acts or activities. Okay? So parang ganyan ang lalaki, di niya iniisip masyado yung mamatay siya, hindi palaban. Pero ang babae, iniisip niya palagi yung kanyang protection, yung kanyang security. Kaya kapag si nanay sa tatay nyo, mapapansin nyo, si nanay masyadong nag-alala pag walang pagkain. Si tatay hindi masyado. Kasi rest taker si tatay. 'Di ba? Pero si nanay, medyo mas nag-alala yan dun sa needs ng loob ng family rather than si tatay. Si nanay, puro pagkain ang binibili, puro sa bahay. Si tatay, iba yung mga kanyang mga pinagkakabalahan para dun sa bahay, yung para sa pag-repair niya ng bahay, ang mas maraming binibili niyan para hardware, like that. Or kung mayroong sakyan yan, para sa sakyan niya. Pero ang nanay, karamihan yan sa bahay. No? Yung mga basic needs ang kanyang binibili kasi yung takot at the same time, tawag natin yung um, inherent, okay, attitude on staying alive or surviving. Okay, so what about the evolutionary neuroandrogen? Okay, yan. The evolutionary neuroandrogen theory under the evolutionary theory also. It contends that males are more involved in crime than females due to an evolved female preference for mates who are or at least appear to be stable resource provisioners. Okay? So, ang babae, mas gusto nila yung mga lalaki na nagpo-provide, merong sustento, napapakain sila. Okay? So, eventually, may mga lalaki rin na nagre-risk taker kasi they wanted to keep their female partner, and by hook or by crook, kapag wala ng resources, there are some na makapag-isip na magnakaw, okay? Gagawa ng kalokohan just to provide for the needs yung kanyang female partner. Okay? And there are population of men that they don't care to commit crime for the female, sa kanilang partner na female. In criminality is a crude form of competitive behavior over resources, status, and mating opportunities. Theoretically, males have been selected for resource acquisitiveness as a result of female preferences for mates who are successful at resource provisioning. Okay? Yun ang sa criminality. Minsan, may mga lalaki na, okay, kahit anong gagawin na, kahit magnanakaw na yan, okay, gagawa na ng kalokohan niya basta pagkamera kasi ayaw niyang pabayaan. Okay? Ayaw niyang pabayaan yung kanyang asawa or yung kanyang partner na babae. Okay? So, males have been selected for resource acquisitiveness, meaning ang mga babae, pag pinagpili mo yan, mas gusto niya yung may trabaho. Mas gusto niya yung may stable na trabaho over doon sa tambay. Okay, that's the idea. Kaya minsan kahit mas matanda si lalaki, gusto pa rin ng babae kasi nakikita niya mas stable siya. Because ang tingin niya is ang lalaki ay mag-provide. Okay? Okay, as a result of female preferences for mates who are successful at resource provisioning. Okay. So, ay mga lalaki rin na involved sa crime because they wanted to provide for the needs. So, hindi sila mauupo, hindi sila uupo na lang na walang makain. Gagawa silang kaparaanan, mangungutang, manluloko, magnanakaw just to provide so that he can keep his female partner. Okay, so these are some points to ponder before we'll close this lesson 10. Is the evolutionary theory the same with the theory of evolution by Charles Darwin? The evolutionary theory under our subject, theories of crime causation, talks about how a person commits crime, based on the genes that he inherited and based on his exposure to such an environment. So, ang evolutionary theory ng ating subject, crime causation, is that bakit nagkukumit ang tao ng crime base sa kanyang genetical structure at base sa environmental factor. So para siyang biosocial theory because evolutionary theory is still part of biosocial. On the other hand, kay Charles Darwin, it talks only about the development of the human gene pool. Bakit nagganito naging lahi ng Pilipino? Bakit naging ganito yung mga lahi nila? Okay, sa pag-aasawa or sa nagka-survive. Okay, nag-survive sila. Okay, nag-survive sila, kaya ganito na ang lahi ng mga hayop niya, parang ganon. Okay, that people derived from our primitive ancestors like the apes, according to Charles Darwin. I do not agree with him. Nagaling tayo sa mga gorilla. And finally, who are the usual cheaters and aggressive? Is it male or female? Naturally, the male. If we base on the statement of psychologist Byron Roths, okay, that these cheaters type males may be especially attractive to younger, less intelligent women who begin having children at a very early age. It explains male aggressiveness. Okay? Mas marami sa male population ang merong aggressive. Pag nagde-date kayo, no? Yung boyfriend mo, kung ano-ano mga ginagawa pag nagde-date kayo, no? Ayan. Si babae naman, ayaw niya kasi nga mas aggressive yung tawag natin yung lalaki. Pag si babae yung aggressive, ibang usapan na yon. Okay? So that's all for this lesson. Thank you for listening.